Hey there everyone, it's great to see you back on Learning English with Faster. Today we are going to dive into something really interesting, the past continuous tense. You might be wondering what exactly is the past continuous tense and why it is important. Well, by the end of this video you'll have a clear understanding of how to use it in your conversations. We'll explore how this tense helps us describe actions that were happening over a period of time in the past and how it lets us paint a more vivid picture of our experience. So, whether you're telling a story or sharing an experience, mastering the past continuous tense will definitely help make your English sound more fluent and natural. Ready to jump in? Let's get started. The past continuous tense, often referred to as the past progressive tense, is a useful way to describe actions that were happening over a period of time in the past. Think of it like painting a picture of an event or situation that was in progress during a certain moment. To form the past continuous tense, you start with the past tense of the verb to be, which is either was or were, depending on the subject. Then you add the main verb in its present participle form, which means you simply take the verb and add ing to it. For example, if you wanted to say that you were reading a book at a specific time yesterday, you would say, I was reading. This tense is especially helpful when you want to set the scene or provide background information in a story. For instance, you might say, while I was studying, my friend was making dinner. Here, we see two ongoing actions happening simultaneously, which add depth to the narrative. So, let's explore more examples and really get the hang of it, of using the past continuous tense in our everyday conversations. Imagine you are telling a story about different activities that happened in the past. You might say, I was reading a fascinating book last night, or you were playing soccer with your friends until it got dark, or she was cooking dinner when the phone rang. So let's break this down. We use was with singular subjects. This refers to one person or thing. For instance, when I say, I was reading, I'm talking about myself, which is singular. The same goes for he, she, and it. So, if I were to say, he was cooking breakfast or it was raining yesterday, I'm using was to indicate that we are talking about just one subject. On the flip side, we use were when we are talking about plural subjects. This includes you, were, and they. For example, you were playing implies a group that includes you, and they were running refers to multiple people. So, if I say we were watching a movie, you can see we are talking about more than one person. Remember, if you ever get confused, think about the subject of your sentence, was it singular or plural. It will guide you in choosing between was and were. It's all about keeping track of who or what you're talking about. Does this help clarify things? Now, feel free to ask more questions if you have them. Let's dive into the past continuous tense and explore when to use it. Imagine this scenario. It's a cozy evening and you're engrossed in a novel. You might say, I was reading a book at 8 p.m. last night. What's interesting here is that was reading tells us that your reading was happening continuously during that specific time. It gives your listener a snapshot of what you were doing, allowing them to visualize that moment. Another use is for setting the scene in a story. Picture yourself telling a story about a beautiful evening. You might describe it like this. The sun was setting and the birds were singing. Using the past continuous here helps create a vivid atmosphere. It's not just about the actions, it's about the entire setting. And by using this tense, you provide a sense of depth and paint a more vibrant picture of your audience, making them feel like they are right there with you. Another use is for interrupted actions. Have you ever been in the middle of doing something only to be interrupted? You might say, she was watching TV when the phone rang. In this case, was watching represents the action that was happening when suddenly the phone ringing interrupted it. The structure highlights not just the ongoing action but also emphasizes the interruption, making the moment more dynamic and engaging. And using the past continuous tense effectively can help you convey your experience in a rich and descriptive way, bringing your story and conversations to life. Now, let's have a chat about some common mistakes that learners often make when using the past continuous tense. This particular tense is used to describe actions that were ongoing in the past, and getting the verb forms right is crucial. For example, a common error is saying, I were reading a book. This is incorrect. The correct way of saying it is I was reading a book. Now let's break down why this is the case. When you're using the past continuous tense, it's important to match the verb with the subject properly. In English, we use was singular subject like I, he, or she. So you would say, I was reading a book, or he was playing soccer, or she was studying for exam. On the other hand, we use were with plural subjects such as we, they, or when, addressing someone formally as you. For instance, we were watching a movie, or they were having fun, or you were working late. Understanding this distinction can really help improve your English skills. So next time you're using the past continuous tense, keep this rule in mind to avoid common mistakes. And understanding how to form questions and negative sentences in the past continuous tense can really enhance your communication skills in English. Let's dive into it a bit more. When it comes to forming questions in past continuous tense, you essentially want to start with the appropriate form of to be, followed by the subject and then the verb ending in ing. For example, if you want to ask about what someone was doing, you could say, was he watching TV? This structure helps you inquire about a specific action happening at a particular moment in the past. Another example is, was they playing football? Here, you're asking if a group of people was engaged in the activity during a certain time frame, possibly during the weekend or specific game. Now, let's talk about forming negative sentence. This might feel a little more straightforward in this sentence. We use not after the verb. In this sentence, we use not after the verb to indicate that something was not happening. For instance, you could say, I was not or I wasn't sleeping. This shows that at that past moment, you were actually away and not engaging in the action. Another example could be, they were not or weren't listening. This implies that during a certain time, they were distracted or not paying attention, which could lead to an interesting conversation about what they were actually doing instead. So practicing these structures can really help you express yourself more clearly when discussing past activities. Alright everyone, now it's your turn to jump in and have some fun with the past continuous tense. Let's see how well you can fill in the blanks with the right form of the verbs. Here are a few sentences for you. They play football when it starts to rain. Imagine the scene. It's a sunny day and the kids are having a blast kicking the ball around. Then, out of nowhere, the rain begins. What should go in the blank? Exercise number 2. He studied all night for exam. Picture a dedicated student pouring over textbooks surrounded by notes and snacks. He's determined to ace that test. What do you think he was doing? Then, we wait for the bus when it suddenly arrives. Think about standing at the bus stop, maybe chatting with a friend, and then bam, the bus pulls up just like that. The bus pulls up just like that. What were you doing at that moment? Feel free to leave your answers in the comment below. And remember, practicing past continuous tense in your daily conversation can really help you improve your English skills. Let's see what you come up with. Thanks for tuning in. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you won't miss out on more tips and lessons about English language nuance. See you next time on Learning English with Fácil.